are live. Hello, family. Good to see you today. And I'm glad you've joined me on Pastor Bob and Friends Live. We are live. Jump in the chat room. Let us know where you're from. Let us know who you are. You can ask questions. We got a lot of things to cover today. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Matrix Vision. TheMetalMatrix.com is our new network. We're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about the homeless ministry. Leebo is here with us. He runs the homeless ministry here at Sanctuary, and he's going to kind of tell us some of the things that have been going on during the coronavirus. A lot of things have happened, and some concerns that we've got also. Miss Mary is joining us today. She is in charge of the merch store, and we got some cool stuff and some things that, well, I can't wait to share with you on that particular front. And Larry is our producer, Larry Fish. You know him from the family chats, and he's sitting here with me. And also Darren Williams is sitting here with me. Darren, good morning.
Good morning to you. It's only taken a few years to catch up to you, I guess.
I know. Well, Darren, so we say morning. It's nighttime in Australia. It's afternoon in Europe. We've, but it's morning for us, isn't it?
It is morning, and I love Australia. 4 years ago, I was in Australia.
All right.
And it was like the longest day of the year, so when I left, I didn't see the sun go down all the way.
It's like a switch, isn't it? Absolutely. I love Australia, New Zealand, beautiful places. Phil is one of the guys that does a family chat with us, and he's from Australia. And some great people down under. And we are the people up over, I think. Isn't that right?
Yes. We even have a different hemisphere.
Yeah, exactly. It's a different hemisphere. That's true. Well, do we have people coming in the chat room yet?
We're kind of like, I'm waiting a little bit for this.
Yeah. Because we might have a little delay. And Darren's going to let us know.
We got James Nelson out there.
Yeah.
And Jamie McCavanagh.
Good.
We love his show. I mean, Engage.
We do.
Yeah.
Awesome show. Engage is the name of the show, and he's engaging. Yes. And plus, his co-host, Jay, is a character.
Yes.
And you kind of have to see what shirt he's wearing for the day, or what shirt he's not wearing for the day, as the case may be. And Darren, he's a fancy dancer.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. He dances in the background, and he's pretty cool at that. But, Jamie, you lived with Jamie many years ago, didn't you, in California?
We did. We lived together out, we called it the beach house. Now, it was like 2 blocks away from the beach, but I have to tell you, we had 5 bedrooms, 3 people per bedroom at a time.
Yeah.
Jamie brought a pet seal. So it's like, that was really interesting.
Yeah.
So,
and it was all Sanctuary people, it was not too far from the place where we had church, and from the Sanctuary house, and those were good memories. Darren, that's, 27 years ago?
Probably 27 years ago.
Yeah,
yes.
It's a long time.
And you know what I used to do? When I moved out there from Iowa, and I found
In what year?
Oh, man.
How long ago was that? Like 30 years ago?
It had to be like 90, 91.
Yeah, long time.
So I found this girl's bike. It was just sitting around. Nobody wanted this thing. It was like a teenage girl's bike, and I'd ride it all the way to get to your house. Just to be able to like fill out mail orders back then,
Oh, yeah.
You had those tapes. You would have cassette tapes.
You worked with Tom Kohler and with all the guys
and Steve Casto.
In the mail room.
Yeah, Steve Casto's got a great show, Connect the Dots.
He does, yeah. Great show. Yeah. We're going to talk more about the Matrix shows. Anybody else joining us this morning?
Well, we've got Amber. She's Loveland. And cool. We've got Sora Mandel. Good morning.
Oh, good. Soro is from the old Sanctuary group too, isn't she? She's awesome.
Hey, miss you. Thomas Stauber. He's from Houston, Texas.
Yes. Great.
Good morning. I love Houston. And Puerto Rico, we got Carlos.
Hey, Carlos. Good to see you.
Yeah. So we have,
great.
The fun thing is we get to hang out together. And
yes.
to be in all reality, everything, we've got a few technical things, and we're really glad Larry's like right with us right now.
Because he's the man.
So we've got so many cool gadgets going on. And I have been in the film world, but what's really awesome is just being live right now here with you, and the
It's
people
awesome,
that,
isn't
that are
it?
coming in a little later, like, hey mom, hey dad,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us later on.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Darren, let's talk about you for just a minute. Darren is a man of many talents, but he's probably your way of making a living for quite a few years is as a massage therapy.
It has.
Talk about that for a minute.
So, way back in the day when I came out to go visit you in California, I was really
Yeah.
interested in natural medicine.
Yes.
And you had said to me, like, Darren, if you want to learn about natural medicine, you should really get into massage. And I have to tell you, what I have learned comparing massage to ministry is that people always wanted, like, let's say an elbow. They wanted it fixed, right? So I'd always have to find like 5 new ways to be able to fix an elbow that people didn't want to personally take any responsibility for. It's like, here's the elbow, we'll give it back to you. So what I've learned, is that I wanted to be able to teach people how to take care of themselves a little bit more, help change the world. And I became a filmmaker, which was awesome, and we helped make movies with that. But what I've learned is that, I've been integrating the things that I've learned for 30 years studying medicine and natural stuff, that, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom.
Yes.
Because one of the things I see in the world is that we have all this information, all these computers, and you hear all the time, I know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, but until you embody
But do you
something,
really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Until you embody it, you really don't know. So
Yes.
what I've been doing with my own programs is helping people to now be able to embody that, so they can really have that
That is
wisdom.
so cool.
How do you really be able to hear that still small voice of God,
Yeah.
when we got all this noise in the world? So that's what I've been up to.
Well, and we're going to talk about that in the weeks to come too,
Yes.
because Darren is a man of a lot of information, and I think it'd be great to share some of those things. Now, you briefly mentioned filmmaking, and
Yes.
Darren did a movie called Hunger in America.
Hunger in America.
I'm in the movie,
You
and there's
are.
other people in there too.
Yes.
And I know you can see it on Amazon Prime.
For free.
Is it still on Netflix? I can't remember.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime
Yeah,
for free.
For
Okay.
free. And it's really important because, again, everybody always wants to have some new information. And I always want to say, when people come to me and they say, hey, what's your new project? You ever hear that, like, when people have records and things like that?
Yeah.
And they go, like, you put your blood, sweat, tears in it, and then they hear it and they go, that was great. What's next?
Yeah.
So
True.
I basically all these years decided to create projects that what's next is now. And so in this movie,
good. I like
with
that.
Hunger in America, we really do be able to end the movie with little things that people can do.
Yes.
Easy, doable things.
Awesome. And it was a great documentary on
We got an
hunger and
Emmy. I didn't
homelessness.
even know what an Emmy was
Yeah.
at the time, but it's just like an Emmy.
And you
is
got
like-
one.
Yeah, we got an Emmy for doing
Yeah,
this.
and we have a picture of you receiving it, which was really awesome.
Really. But can
you,
I
you
wanna-
did a second movie too, though.
Yeah, I did.
And
It's called Autism in America.
Yeah.
And that was pretty huge. You
Yeah.
know.
Is that also on Amazon Prime?
It is
Yeah,
on Amazon
great.
Prime for free.
Folks, check both of those movies out. They're
But can
both
I
just-
want to throw one thing in there
Yes.
about this is for 1 year I went to the library. I didn't know anything about film. I just showed up one day. I had been on a massage cruise where
Yeah.
we had to learn law and ethics in the state of Tennessee, and after a while, law and ethics can kind of be a little bit boring, So
Yeah.
they wanted to make it interesting and say, "Hey, here's a trip to Mexico." And I wound up meeting somebody that was about ready to be doing a music video in Nashville, and they invited me to be an extra. And I said, "Well, hey, I will just make like some behind the scenes stuff."
Yeah.
And the film crew liked it, and I didn't know anything about filming. So I started borrowing all these books from the local library.
I remember that when you were doing that.
And so one
you
year
and I met
later,
at Starbucks
Yeah.
in Green Hills and
Did.
talked about it in those days.
and that's what it
yes.
did. Just basically borrowed books.
I remember.
So it doesn't matter where you get your education; it's what you do with it.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So, Darren, who do we have joining us? Anybody
Well,
new joining in the chat rooms?
We're really trying to. I really wish that I could catch up with all the people on here. And
It's
Larry's
hard to
having
catch up
share
with everybody,
different
isn't it?
devices. Carla.
Yes.
Carla, good morning from Iowa. Woo! How
All
about
right.
that? I'm from Iowa.
That's cool.
And she's been praying that all of our equipment would work here today. Lincoln, Nebraska, Jamie Allen.
Good, Jamie. Good morning, Jamie.
Yeah, and
He's awesome. You know, he used to go to Sanctuary in the old days.
yeah, Jamie.
And there was a house. You lived in the beach house.
I did.
He lived in. There was a house called the Dung Gate.
That was the
And
one.
he lived in that one with all the
But
guys.
all the,
yeah.
you know, all these cool people were over there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
From let me see here, we've got Mary Fish. She's going to be here. Cheryl Bowman.
Hey, Cheryl.
Littlefield, Texas.
Yes, she's from Littlefield.
There we go. Now.
We got a few Texas's people in here, don't we?
Yeah.
They're cool.
Yeah. So.
Well, folks, it's great to have you here. Once again, you are watching Pastor Bob and Friends Live. And we got some great stuff coming up. And, folks, keep it tuned right here. You don't want to miss anything that we're doing today. This is a 90-minute broadcast. So clear out whatever you have to. If you have appointments, just cancel them. If you have anything else planned, it doesn't matter. Fix your eyes right here. You don't want to miss anything. We got a few guests coming up in just a few minutes. Miss Mary Fish is going to be with us, and she's going to talk a little bit about our merchandise. We got some of the coolest stuff, Darren, in merchandise.
Oh, you know what?
You have some right there.
Can I just like show this right here?
There
if,
you
if
go.
you really want to be a friend with Pastor Bob, all it takes is like what, $8 to $10 here. And you know what? I thought about this today. Just being real. You know, we're supposed to love our neighbors as we love ourselves,
Yeah.
right? Well, I love my neighbors so much that I'll just put this on them. You know, just say, hey,
There you go.
know what? From me to you, what a gift, and we can all just be friends.
And
right?
dude, and that is the epitome of love, isn't it? Right there.
Yeah, a little
If
bit.
you
of
really love someone, I think the Bible says that. If you love someone, you give them a sanctuary pin.
you give them a sanctuary.
I think
pin.
it says
Yes.
that. And you have a mug also from
This is very, very, very important. I'm
Yes.
telling you, fight the battle before the battle.
and that's our mug for the month.
I absolutely love this thing.
Our monthly mug.
Yeah. You know, I've got programs that I work with people so that they can live where they stand and thrive where they move. You have to think foresight is 2020. This right here, fight the battle before the battle.
Yes.
I love this.
And that's it. And that's what I've been talking about all month long on my Pastor Bob Daily. We have one more week to go, and then we start a new one. New poster, new mug, new t-shirt. How exciting is that?
The only way to find out is to
I
hang
know,
out.
I know, absolutely. Well, folks, again, you are joining Pastor Bob and Friends Live. And, you know, it's a great day in Nashville. A little warm these days, Darren. I'm fighting the humidity. It's not my favorite thing and not my friend.
You're going to get a lot of humidity today. It's raining.
So the last few mornings when I've gotten up, and it's not raining, and it's 100% humidity. You know, so I can do the heat. It's the humidity that I just go outside for 2 minutes and it wipes me out. Are you good with humidity?
You know what? I work around heat. I love heat and I love fire, but for me, I think about it as like being in a sauna. You know,
Yeah.
cleanse out your pores, right?
Yeah, and sauna is my worst nightmare. I can't be that hot. It's just a little too much. But it's a cool time in Nashville, and you know, it's a beautiful time. We've had enough rain, so everything is really green. And you know, somebody made a comment on my podcast yesterday on YouTube, actually, and they said, Pastor Bob, I can't believe that you live in Nashville and you don't like country music. And I thought, you don't know Nashville.
Right.
There's every kind of music here.
There's a
isn't there?
wee little bit of country music, and it's on like 2 blocks on Broadway.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like we have a huge metal community here.
Yes.
Huge blues community.
Oh, greatest
jazz.
blues clubs. Jazz.
Oh,
There's a place in Nashville called Printer's Alley.
yes.
And on Printer's Alley, they have a lot of these little clubs where these 70 and 80-year-old black guys are playing some of the best blues and jazz you will ever hear.
Yes.
And people say, well, all of that, you know, is in Nolens. New Orleans, they say
New Orleans,
Nolens when
yes.
you're there. People say, well, it's all there. And we have a good share of it here in Nashville. And any kind of music. And then just maybe 3 blocks from there is the Nashville Symphony,
Yes.
which is huge and very popular. And right not very far from there, they're building a whole huge new museum for the black culture. It's going to be, what would you call it? It's soul music, it's reggae, it's, whatever, blues, rhythm and blues, but it's all celebrating African American culture music, and it's huge. It's going to be. They're saying it's bigger actually than the Country Western Museum. that's
Everything.
downtown.
It's just like everything happens here. Sooner or later,
Yes.
everybody comes to Nashville, and Nashville's got fingerprints all over the world. As you know,
Yes.
if
Oh,
we traveled
yeah.
all around the world,
Right.
you'll find that there's some influence there from Nashville.
Absolutely. So, country isn't my favorite, except, and everybody says this, I don't like country except for Johnny Cash.
Okay, Johnny Cash was great.
Johnny Cash transcends musical style, doesn't he?
Johnny Cash had the same yard as Roy Orbison. And
Oh,
you
he
know what
did?
really gets me is the fact that I went out there to go visit one day.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking, two different styles of music in the same yard,
Yeah.
looking over the same river,
Isn't that
and
something?
they have different styles of music.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I've been on tour with many different artists doing the integrative medicine
Very
thing.
famous artists.
Getting them
Yes.
on stage, on time, healthy was my job for like
Yeah.
20 years. So, not really being into country music, they were the ones that were hiring me at the time.
Yes.
And then I get around to the hair bands and things like that later on. But I do have an appreciation. And all the country stars, they really actually want to be rock stars. I need
Yeah.
to
Oh,
be able to say.
so many of
So,
them.
like the things that we did in the 80s with the big stage shows, that's
Yeah.
what they were coming around to.
Absolutely, and I think that's very cool. The people that haven't been able to make it in rock have made it in country, but
Yeah.
kind of prefer rock. Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
And by the way, downtown there's the greatest Johnny Cash museum
Mm-hmm.
down there that everybody, people just need to visit Nashville, don't they?
They do.
There's a lot of cool
And we're
things
black.
happening here. Well, is Miss Mary ready for us?
I think so, yeah.
I would love to include her. Miss Mary, are you there?
So, we see her. So we have to turn up the volume on this.
Okay.
So we'll We'll go
we
back.
got a little bit of a fine tuning to do, and then we're good.
So
Well,
you should be able to.
Mary, I think we can hear you now. Say something.
Good morning.
There she is. All right.
I am.
Good morning,
Well, it's
Mary.
good to hear you today. It's good to see you today.
You too.
So, Mary is Larry's wife. You claim him, Mary?
I do.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
I do.
He's pretty cool. And you're pretty cool. Larry and Mary Fish, and they both work with us, and I don't know what we do without them. But Mary, you run the merchandise, and we've got a lot of cool things happening there that I'd like to chat with you a little bit about. We lowered the price on the books. Talk about that.
We did, yes. I don't know. I feel like that's something that everybody should have. So I'm happy that we're able to offer that at a little bit lower price point. So it's manageable
Yes.
for people.
And and people, you can write in, and when you order the book, I'm happy to sign them for you. I'm going to be signing a few more today that we're going to mail out, and I'm so glad that people are buying the book. Metal Devo, especially, is a daily devotional that we wrote just for people to have something to read and inspire them every day. But Mary, we've got the posters that are free. Just download them. We've got, with all the posters, we have mugs, we have T-shirts. What else do we have that's important?
Well, I think the newest thing that's important, even though it's summer, so I didn't go to school for merchandising, so forgive me, but we now have tube socks with the Sanctuary logo on them, and actually we
How
got
cool
our
is
first
that?
order yesterday.
Yes,
So
Sanctuary. We rock the socks. We rock the socks. It has the Sanctuary logo. We are metal. We are family on it, which is more than awesome.
So
And-
everywhere you go, wear them to the gym.
Yes, exactly. So, Mary, and we have a very unique gift that everyone needs to have, and it's from my first book called Seriously. And it's simply that picture. If you know that picture, I don't know, Larry, if you have a copy of it that you can put up, but show the picture of what we have for sale now. It's the Pastor Bob Seriously shower curtain.
It is exclusive.
Now, Mary, I want to remind people that Christmas is only 6 months away.
True.
And so it's time to begin to think about what are you going to get that special person for Christmas. Christmas and
This is the
birthdays.
perfect gift.
You know, these are things you want to stock up on. What do you do when it's somebody's birthday and, I forgot to buy them a present? You have a pile of Pastor Bob shower curtains, you know, that you can actually give to people. And it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving, would you say?
I would. And it's one size fits all, so you can't go wrong.
Can you imagine walking into the bathroom and Pastor Bob is there with, of course, my eyes covered, and it says, seriously, I think it's just the unique shower curtain. And Mary, we've waited quite a few years
We have.
to be able to have the shower curtain, and
We have.
it's a special thing. So what else would you recommend in the merch site?
Well, right now we're also, as soon as Larry can take a breath at one point in time, he's going to set up for us, we have it almost done, a subscription for coffee. So that you don't have to keep going back, month or week after week or month after month and order it. You can set up a subscription. It'll automatically come right to you.
So an auto ship.
Mm-hmm.
And they can save a lot of money doing that if they got the auto ship, and it's a lot less money to do it consistently.
Yes, we're going
That's-
to probably do 10% off. And then,
Great.
of course, we always do sales, and, we'll have our Macy's white sale here at some
Yeah.
point in time, I'm sure.
Well,
So,
awesome. And then people won't miss out on Headbangers Brew. Can you imagine the disappointment and frustration, and especially if you're a mother or father and you're making coffee for the whole family, can you imagine the frustration actually running out of Headbangers Brew? So people need to keep it in stock, don't they?
I would say yes, because
Yes.
that's an awful thing when you have to run to the store, like in your jammies,
This is
because
kind of-
you don't have coffee. So,
There you go.
definitely.
So Mary, people are asking about decaf, they're asking about K-cups. Are those things that we might do in the future, do you think?
I think we could.
Yeah.
Decaf can definitely be a possibility. I just would love to hear from people if there really is a demand, because I would hate to have a stock of it and then it just get,
Yeah. So people should let us know if in fact, that's something that they'd like to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Let us know, chat us, let me know. The K cups, I go sideways on the K cups only because I, at heart, am very green and I hate to have all that waste. So I'm trying to find the little adapters for the K cups that we could also offer.
Oh yeah, right.
As an alternative, so you could buy the ground coffee, put it in the little adapter instead of throwing out all those packages, because that's really really
Yes.
difficult for me to get on board with.
So also, Mary, I've heard a little rumor
Yes,
that we
which rumor?
might in the future have Headbangers Brew tea.
Yes.
Talk about
We
that.
are in the process of, I have two vendors that we're, I don't want to say negotiating with, but we're working on getting samples so that we can try them and see, what our friends and what our
Yeah.
community would like.
Because it has to be metal, doesn't it?
Well, of course.
See? So you can't have just regular tea. It has to be Headbangers Brew tea. And so
Exactly.
we have to work on just the right formula. And Mary,
Yes.
we're always adding things too in the store, aren't we?
We are. I don't know if I'm at liberty to talk about Hayden's work, but that's
Yes.
gonna be exciting.
Hayden's going to be with us next week on this
Okay,
show.
so maybe we'll wait
And,
for next week and let him.
we've been talking about the new comic book that's coming out. So excited, and Mary, it's going to be not only the comic book, but there'll be mugs and T-shirts and the whole thing, and that's an exciting thing to look forward to, isn't it?
Yes, a whole collection.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Miss Mary, thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Sure.
I appreciate the update. If you wouldn't mind being on with us periodically to let us know all of the goodies in the store, that would be great. But once again, it's wearemetalwearefamily.com, and all the stuff is there.
All the stuff is there. And if you have any questions, you can email me at merch@pastorbobscoffeebreak.com. And I'm happy to
So
answer
that's
any
merch at pastorbobscoffeebreak.com. Mary, thank you so much.
questions.
Appreciate it. Have a
Bye.
great day. Bye-bye. Well, we got a lot of cool stuff in the store, Darren.
We do. And you know what? If you don't like decaf coffee, you can always add caffeine to decaf coffee.
Well, and you could. That's true.
Yeah.
Which might be just the greatest idea, huh?
So just buy it anyway. And if you don't like the decaf, you just add some caffeine to it later
Yeah,
on.
just add some caffeine. There's a good idea.
Mhm.
Yes. So, well, we've had a few people that have asked us about decaf, and there are people who can't drink caffeine
That is true.
for whatever reason, and I get that. If I don't know if you're like this, but if I drink coffee like past 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I won't sleep at night.
But honestly, you and we've experimented with some tea, adding tea to the coffee.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
And
That was
it was
awesome.
a blueberry tea. And, you might have something like that coming out pretty soon. It was amazing. So when you're in that middle of the day and you're switching from coffee to tea, we're going to have something maybe here.
There
for
you go. But possibly even switching from caffeined, is that a word? Caffeine to coffee, caffeinated coffee,
Yeah.
to decaffeinated coffee
Mhm.
might be something to do too if you're a coffee person.
If you're a coffee person.
Darren, you're more of a tea person than a coffee person.
You know
aren't
what? I've been doing the coffee in the morning with Pastor Bob.
Good.
And
Good for
so,
you.
I'm in that routine, and I do, believe it or not, still add some tea to my coffee. And I enjoy it because
That's
I get
awesome.
different flavors. I mean, what you really need is the base. So get that intense coffee. We love it.
Yes.
And
And soon we'll have some tea to add to it. If we
add some
wanted
tea to that coffee. And like I said, I'll go for my coffee and get in the middle of the day and go, it's about time to get into tea. So I'll start segueing into
Yes.
tea later on.
Exactly. Well, we the shower curtain.
Yeah.
Isn't that the coolest thing? Can you imagine walking into your bathroom with a huge life-size, bigger than life picture of Pastor Bob on your shower curtain?
I guess the Bible's there to clean your soul, but Pastor Bob's getting pretty close.
But I do have my eyes covered.
You have your eyes covered.
Mostly.
You do.
Yeah.
Hey, but there's been some cool things here. Like you guys have been writing in, like talking about bumper stickers, actual like windshield, those windshield shields.
Well, that's a great idea.
And guitar picks are great. You can flick out to people.
And all of these things are things we could add in the future. That would be
Yeah.
That would be great. We are doing the bumper stickers, by the way, and we're working on that now. And there's a lot of other things too. So,
This is the ultimate bumper sticker, though. I mean, because you carry it. With
yeah. Oh,
you.
yeah.
And it goes on anything
I
and
have mine right
everything.
here too.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, it's a must-have. 2 years ago, Darren, I wanted to begin to promote sanctuary less and the family a little more, and that's when we started "We Are Metal, We Are Family," which I have loved that slogan. And as we grow and grow, that slogan becomes more and more important, doesn't it?
Yes. Well, let me just jump in on this.
Yes.
Steve Casto, he's got his show, Connect
Yes.
the Dots. We were hanging out together, and we noticed, because Nashville, we have so many different bands and so much music here, that when you show up for a while, you become familiar. You might be
Yes.
shoulder to shoulder with a major rock star. And after a while, you wind up becoming family. So when I got to see this mold together with the sanctuary, we are metal, we are family. It's
Yes.
so true. We go from being familiar, we go out into the world, and we're there, and then we all become family.
And you know, I've traveled the world so many times, and we've been responsible to helping 21 Christian metal festivals around the world in so many countries. And I used to speak at all of them, and I don't so much anymore because I'm old. But you know, just the camaraderie that people have and the excitement that they have, and you know, it's been just great. We are working on putting the ultimate festival together right now, right here in Nashville, and we'll talk about that more in the future as it comes together. But you know, there's a camaraderie that we have as metalheads and as people in Christ who really love each other, and you know, that's the greatest thing about this movement. We are metal. We really are family.
We really are family, and that's
Yeah.
where a lot of people, they need to know that there's support out there, and that's what we're here for. Right here is to
Yes.
be able to like let you know that you are not alone, no matter where you are. Music
Yeah,
goes
oh, yeah.
everywhere, right?
Huge.
And we just want to
Huge.
let you know that there's just something a little bit more behind that music. They're
Yes.
right here. And you know, one thing about growing old, the cool thing about being a metalhead is that you could pull your hair back and there's no wrinkles. Pastor Bob has no wrinkles. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, you know, one of the things that I haven't been able to affect in my life, and I can change a lot of stuff, but this getting older thing, you know, I'll be 68 this year. I'm on the slippery slope to 70. Do you know that my mom will be 90 years old this
90.
week?
Wow.
90. And if I'm half as spry as she is at that age, well, she's more spry than I am.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't keep up with her. She, you know, it's just funny even to watch her drive. She still drives way too fast. And she just doesn't slow down.
If I was 90 years of age, I'd be driving fast.
Yeah,
you
isn't
know?
that awesome?
Yeah.
It's awesome. Well, folks, we're going to have Larry join us in just a minute, and we're going to talk about the Metal Matrix. And I want to talk about some of the shows that are on there, some of the things that are going on. And while he's joining us, I want to remind you that you're watching Pastor Bob and Friends. And boy, do I have friends. I want to talk about my friends for just 1 minute. And Larry can get in front of a camera and we'll chat with him for a minute. But when we look at the sanctuary community, and when you watch a lot of our podcasts and broadcasts on themetalmatrix.com, you're seeing shows by people who have been with us for a while. I've known Darren for 30 years. I've known Larry for 20, almost 25 years. You know, and you look at Chris Dorman and Don, and, you know, I've known them for 30 plus years. Steve Casto, 35 years. There's a friendship there that's gone on for a very long time. And, you know, that's the coolest thing in the world, to be able to work with my friends and to be able to, you know, to spend this kind of time with them is just awesome. So when I have Larry here and I have Darren here with me as well, and both have been friends for a long time. We know each other well. We've been through thick and thin. There are times when I want to hug them and times I want to slap them, and they feel the same way about me. It's part of being a friend, isn't it, Larry?
Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And but I was thinking the other day about the time we met in August of '98, and
Okay.
and the day I met you in Cornerstone, 1998. I went there
Oh, wow.
specifically to see Savior Machine.
Yes.
And
Great band.
ended up being within a year part of the family, living here at your house, and
Yeah.
and it was at a time in my life when I really needed that, because I had left the church. I was hurt. We all, you know, we don't
Yeah.
even have to go down that road, but I'm extremely thankful for and meeting new people. You know, on the ride over here,
Awesome.
you know,
Yeah.
I haven't met Jamie Allen face to face, but we feel like we've been brothers
That's awesome,
forever.
isn't it? And I have
that
met him
goes.
face to face,
Yeah.
by the way.
Oh yeah. So and it keeps growing, but
Yes.
yeah.
So Larry,
I hope we don't-
you kind of took care of the house in those days,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of bands coming.
Oh,
over.
man.
Give me some of your highlights of the early days at the house.
Oh man, oh man, you just never
I had
knew.
this big house with, what do we
Oh,
have, 10 bedrooms, I think? You know,
Yeah,
and
10
stuff like that.
bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and one particular, Lulu Roman from
Yeehaw, yeah.
talking about country music.
Good friend, yes.
She came over and she was a hoot.
She is a hoot.
She had a whoopee
Still a good
cushion in her
friend.
purse. Do you remember that?
With the fart machine
The
in
fart,
it.
yeah. And every once in a while, like we were just sitting around, I think Jim Laverty was there, and
Yeah.
you know, she'd reach in her purse and squeeze this thing and kind of adjust in her seat, and finally we just, you know, Donna Summer knocked on the door one day. She,
Donna.
you know,
Donna Summer, yeah.
the late great Donna Summer.
Awesome,
I was
awesome
floored
lady.
when that
Yeah.
happened.
And we miss her. She
yes,
died a few
passed
years
away.
ago.
And then, you know, just tons of bands coming through and meeting
Lots of bands.
back in the days of Cafe Express.
Yeah.
And it was just
Disciple was
phenomenal.
there a
Disciple,
lot.
yeah,
Evanescence.
Kevin, yes.
Yeah, coming
Yeah.
through. We had, gosh, so many
Oh,
bands.
so many people, and it was a
Yeah.
good refuge. My mom came and stayed when she was
Yes.
in a tough time, and
Yeah.
Jamie's mom came,
Jamie's mom
stayed
did,
from
yeah.
time to time, and other people would. And when you
But we're
walk,
about to do that again.
yeah, when you cross that threshold of that house, there was like a wave of peace. I remember the first time I walked in there. I came down just a few months after Cornerstone '98
Yeah.
to do a video with Wedding Party, and stayed there. And there was just, we drove straight through from Buffalo, like a 12-hour drive, and walk into the house and just looking around. And if you get an idea with all the decor in your room here, just picture, you know, 3,000. Well, how many square feet was that? That was huge.
4,300.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And wall to wall stuff, just
Pictures.
pictures, and memorabilia, and it was
So Larry, there were actually over 1,000 pictures on the walls.
yeah.
And I did that because it was kind of like a museum. People would come and just spend an hour looking at pictures, but you know, I've been working for almost 50 years now with Christian rock, and so many, you know, signed, autographed, you know, promo shots and just all this stuff all over the walls. It was so much fun, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. It was
Yeah.
a great time, and
History of Christian rock and metal.
yes, and hey, that we can talk about some of the new shows coming up here.
You know, let's do that because
Yes.
we've got some great things. You guys have mentioned Steve Casto's show,
yes, Steve
Connect the
Casto.
Dots.
Yep, and we have a new premiere this Thursday, The Origins of Christian Rock with Pastor Bob
Yes.
2.0. I began editing the video last night,
Great.
and his first guest, Rex Carroll. Make sure you tune in on Thursday
Yes.
at 3 p.m. Central, I believe it goes on. If not, the schedule will be posted here. I don't have it memorized, but that's a new one.
And it's
that we start
basically
this week.
the history of Christian rock.
Yes,
And he's got, I think his next guest is Jimmy Brown.
Jimmy Brown is coming up.
And he's got quite a few others.
Ted
that he's got
Kirkpatrick
like that. Yeah.
is coming
Great.
up. Eric Clayton will be in July.
Great.
So he sent me his lineup, and we'll get that post up. He just sent that to me. So, but really looking
But it's called
forward
The
to that.
Origins of Christian Rock. Is that the name
That's
of
it. Yeah.
Awesome. Great idea.
Yeah. So
And
have
we
that
were
coming
talking
up.
about Steve's. Steve's is a great teaching
Oh yeah.
program.
Yeah,
Connect the Dots.
He fantastic. A lot of information.
Yes.
And those of you that have not seen Chris Crean create, last week he did a phenomenal show. You can go check it out on the Metal Matrix. It's replaying all week until Thursday.
Yeah.
And he took and kind of talked about how Celtic, the origins of
Yes.
Celtic, relate to Sanctuary and heavy
Awesome.
metal. It was
so awesome.
I learned
And a lot of sanctuary
I-
history there.
Yes, a lot of
Yes.
sanctuary history, and I'm sitting there engineering. I'm like, wow, I'm really learning a lot.
Yes.
And he's a professor, and an
At
art guy.
Azusa Pacific University.
Oh
yeah.
man, and I'm enjoying that. And
But
then
you know, Chris is the one that did the original artwork on the first Vengeance album
Yes.
with my hand.
yep,
You know, he's the one that did all the special effects makeup on the
Yeah.
second album too.
yes,
And he's just, man, he's so talented. but he talked a little bit about that on
He
this
did,
last
yep,
one.
he did do that.
And I wanted to get back to Steve Casto for a
Oh,
minute.
sure.
Because, you know, all of these people have little things about them. Now, you didn't know that Darren was a very famous masseuse. You didn't know that he was a filmmaker. Just to look at him, you say, well, here's a good-looking guy. What is he doing? And,
Come on,
you know, he's got all this stuff.
scoot over.
So,
I don't want to see my mush all the time.
do we have you in one shot, you guys?
Yeah,
How cool is that?
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
shoulders. We're social
So-
distancing.
So Steve Casto, now listen, you guys, he was the Soldier of the Year
Soldier of the Year.
in 2001.
Yes,
I think
he
it was
was.
2001.
Yeah, and you know what? Tomorrow is his 51st birthday.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday, Scuba. We
So-
call him Scuba in these
Yes.
parts.
So he was in his 30s when he was Soldier of the Year. And folks, we're not talking about one part of the military. We're talking about the military.
Yeah.
All of it, he was Soldier of
That's
the Year.
no little deal to be Soldier of the Year in the Army.
So
Yeah,
proud
he's
of that
very
guy.
humble about it too.
Yes.
When I introduce him to people, I mentioned
Yeah.
that, and he
He
you know
seems
how
really
Steve is.
quiet. He has this explosive
Yeah.
laughter.
Yes.
But you leave him alone for a little while, and he will be the guy that if you ever had an apocalypse, you could go disappear in the forest with, and
Yeah.
you will survive.
And he can survive.
But he will
Yeah.
light up a bonfire.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh!
And his laughter, by the way, I always call it a machine gun laughter.
It is.
Because it sounds like a rapid firing
Yeah.
machine gun.
Yeah. You
So
gotta
we've
check
got,
out his show.
We've got Sheep Happens
Sheep happens in that.
with Nanette,
Yes.
and she is a great teacher. Nanette also, by the way, was in the Olympics
Yes.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
for rowing.
For rowing.
Yes,
Wow.
she was in the Olympics.
Wow.
So
What a great
incredible.
team. What a
And
great-
There's just so much about these people you guys don't
Hey,
know.
I gotta jump in,
Yeah.
you know, and just say, Nan has this amazing show that when I tap into it, I actually get tears. She really brings it out in you, man. She's got some humble, beautiful nuggets of truth right there.
She's awesome.
You can apply to your life immediately, but it's like I feel
Yes.
it.
I feel it. I did an engineer show last week. I was actually driving home. I had a doctor appointment, and I listened on about almost the entire show. And by the time I got home, I had tears coming down my face
Mm-hmm.
because she's just so open and so intimate and sharing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, make sure you tune into that. It's Friday at 3:00 on Facebook here, and then Saturday at 3 on the Metal Matrix.
Great.
And then Roger Dale Martin, his show. Oh my
Dude.
gosh.
Look at.
My gosh,
Seriously,
yeah.
Roger Dale has. I've been getting in on that show, the Grit and the Gristle
Yes.
show. He had me eating 8
Yes.
times a day, a lot of oatmeal. But beyond being a regular on his show, like Roger Dale, it's gonna happen. We're gonna
Yeah.
pump you up. It'll be there. I love that show.
Well, you know what it is? I know people just want to look like me. And it's Roger's attempt to do that. So,
Yeah.
you know, when Roger was in Vengeance, when we first started Vengeance in
Yeah.
1987,
Yes, good year.
yeah, it was. Roger was the skinny guy, you know, and when you look at him now, it's hard to believe. But Roger was the skinny guy with really long blonde hair, and I remember he had a promo shot of just him, and I had that on my refrigerator. And I remember one time my dad came in and said, "Why do you have Suzanne Summers on your refrigerator?" He thought that Roger Dale was Suzanne Summers.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It is. But now,
man.
you know, he's lost his hair. He's a personal trainer and he's a bodybuilder.
Yes.
He's been in competitions and won competitions. And so, Grit and Gristle,
Grit
tell
and
us
Grizzle,
about that
yeah.
show.
I'll be up at his house tomorrow filming, and we'll
Great.
go live right from his place there. And
So he's doing some workout.
yeah, and yeah, he goes over nutrition. And last week he talked about the 4 parts of physical fitness. He got into even hormones and nutrition, working out, and the spiritual element, of
Awesome.
course, too. And it's great energy.
Well, he's a
It's
lot of
very
fun to
entertaining.
watch.
Oh, he's just.
I wish I had half of his energy.
He's fun to be around, and yeah,
he is
tomorrow.
fun to be around. Yes.
So I'll be up there tomorrow afternoon. Yeah.
He's
That's
he's
awesome.
that definition of intensity, and you find out he's got this beautiful heart. You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
who is this
Oh,
guy?
yeah.
Like Mr. Clean, and it's like,
Love
no
that
man.
guy.
No
Love
kidding.
that guy.
Yeah, I love it.
Who
Yes.
else is intense? Jamie.
Yes.
Engage.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you what, listening to the intros, and thank you, Larry, for making these intros. Like, I had the intros to, like, connect the dots yesterday, and Jamie's Engage, and that's all I
That was
needed.
both their own music, by the way.
Yeah, it was their own music.
That was Jamie remixed Raven's Warning for his, and Steve put together his own music.
That's
for,
so cool.
For that show.
I just felt like I could take on the world. I watched
yeah.
those two shows, and it's just like, you know,
good stuff here.
I can handle any situation. Listening to
That
Engage.
is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, Larry, that year that you went to Cornerstone and I met you was also the year that Jamie went to Cornerstone
Yes.
to listen to the Crucified. And
they played.
before he went, and he'll tell the story maybe at some point, but before he went to Cornerstone, one of his friends said, "Now you have to avoid Pastor Bob because he'll try to convert you." And so he did. He saw me a couple times. He was able to, to get on the other side of the park, and, he avoided me the whole time. Well, I decided that I was going to fly to the East Coast, which is where he lived. I can't remember, I was going to a meeting, I was going to speak there, whatever, but I went from Cornerstone to the East Coast, and I got on this little tiny plane, one of those planes that you have 3 seats, one on one side and 2 on the other side.
Yes.
And so I had the aisle seat, the 2-seater side, and that guy that was sitting on the other side of me was Jamie.
Wow.
He avoided me the whole time, and now here he is.
Here he is.
And as I'm
years later.
sitting down, I see this look of horror on his face. We talked the whole time. We had a layover together. We talked there, and really hit it off. And then God kept telling me to call him, and he was rarely home. And every time I called him, he just happened to be home. And so we hit it off. He decided to come out to California, lived with you guys at the beach house, and he's gone through a lot of things in his life, and but his foundation is great. His show is great. He's again very intense.
Pretty
and
intense,
very proud of him.
very intense and deep.
Yes.
You got some comments. That's your job
You
there.
know, my job.
I'm gonna
is-
jump
I
off,
want
man.
I want to be able to catch up with all you guys
Yeah.
out there. I have to apologize in being real right now that our systems are a little bit slow.
So yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
We've
Yeah,
gone
our
through
comments
a lot
aren't coming in
less.
live.
We're still learning.
They're coming in quicker over on the Switcher app there. And there's a can you see them? Can you see that? Okay.
So if I
There
was
was something
probably
about
20 years younger, I would be able to jump
Jennifer-
over and say,
Jennifer wants to know what day was the origins of Christian rock. That will be Thursday at 3:00.
Great.
And we're going to have a schedule put up for
Yeah.
his show on Facebook.
But you
by the
can
end
look
of the
at
day.
the schedule if you go to sanctuaryinternational.com, or more specifically
The Metal Matrix.
themetalmatrix.com.
Themetalmatrix.com.
And it'll go to that page on our
Yes.
website. And folks, it's a 2-part thing. On the left side, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, The Metal Matrix. You can watch shows like this one and all that we're talking about 24 hours a day, rebroadcast all the time. And then right next to it is an old school chat room. Jump in and talk to your friends, talk about the show, talk about whatever you'd like. But right above that is a place where you can download, or you can just click on the schedule, so you'll know when every show is coming up. So we've got some other shows that we're excited about. Tim Pope.
Tim Pope, yes.
So let me talk about Tim. Tim showed up one day at Sanctuary, and he said, "I'd like to go to classes." And somebody had talked to him about the classes that we had, and Tim was very humble, didn't know much about him, but he started coming to our classes, and they were Sunday nights, and he was telling me that he was flying in on Sunday nights and raced from the airport to get to the classes. So one day I asked him, I said, "So Tim, what are you doing that you're flying in?" He goes, "Well, I'm the drummer for Ray Charles." The drummer for Ray Charles.
Unreal. That's
And,
crazy.
So then when he stopped doing that, he started playing with Tony Orlando. Tony, in that time, he's very popular with the older crowd now. A lot of hit songs. And do you know that Tim is still playing with Tony Orlando, still traveling with him, still doing that gig. But so Tim is probably one of the best drummers in the world. And Larry, he just renamed his show. What is the new name? Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
I'm a day or two behind on my emails.
Yeah.
I have a few.
It's
but
okay.
I did get the email of the new show name, but I've
I
slept
did too,
since
and I
then,
forgot.
You know,
We did call it Big Sticks.
it was
'cause
that
his
was the
nickname.
original.
And I think that's part of the title.
Yeah.
But
Maybe you want
But-
to catch up on some comments.
You know, I'm really
Yeah,
trying. You know,
yes.
I know
we're
it's
in there.
really hard.
I know.
We got some
Constance,
here.
she says she missed most of this.
Well, she can
Constance
come back.
Miller.
I'm gonna
You know,
slide out.
That's the beautiful thing.
the cool thing is you
these
can
are
watch it again. Huh?
these are able to be watched again. Yes, absolutely. And PJ Bennett's out there. PJ, she's an amazing artist, and she's
Oh,
been
awesome.
writing some cool stuff with a lot of the old hairband things and stuff.
Oh,
like that,
great.
those folks. But yeah, she came down here to visit for a little while. She got stuck down here for about 2 months when we had the
What a
COVID
great place
closed
to
down.
get stuck. Huh?
I know, you would think.
Yeah.
But she got to see nothing but basements for a while. Jamie Allen, got to get after it. Have a great day. Go out and enjoy your day. We'll
Yes.
be right here for you
Glad you
again when
joined
you
us,
want to
Jamie.
tap back in, Jamie.
Awesome.
So, and Cheryl Bowman, she says, I love hearing your stories of how you got started.
Yeah, isn't that great?
And we're going to keep getting started.
We have so much history, don't we, Darren?
Mhm. Yeah, we really
Yeah, So
do.
much rich
You,
history.
you know what? I was in Bible college. I wanted to like be able to go out and from my church and then get involved in Bible college, and I wanted to.
And
get
then
to
we
Azusa-
corrupted you.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Azusa Pacific University and be a psychologist.
Yeah.
And you wrote me, and I have this card, and I still have it, Pastor Bob, like where you wrote to me, and it just says, "Well, come on out, we'll get you involved." And I've never made it to Azusa Pacific University. I mean, you got me involved when I was here.
But
so.
and isn't it ironic that Chris Keene, who
Yeah.
does, the Create podcast, who was an elder at the church at
Yeah.
that point,
Yeah,
is a professor at the college you didn't go to.
I know. And it was like every day would come out of my mouth, Azusa Pacific University, Azusa Pacific University. And it was like, no, I never made it. Sanctuary was where I needed to be. So, I
Well,
love being
and
here with you.
I was so glad you made that choice. It's always been great to have you involved with Sanctuary, Darren.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And you know what I really, really love about this format right here is that back in the day you had so many people. We didn't have internet. We didn't have cell phones.
Yes.
And you had so many people on your list that there was an actual 2-month waiting list to be able to come and see you. And I would be in the office, and it had been working for 2 months, just packing envelopes and stuff.
I'm so sorry.
And I love that. But it's just like, who's Pastor Bob? I didn't know who he was. And we had tea. We
That was
wound
the
up
day.
having herbal tea.
Yeah.
And we became friends instantly.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And we still are.
Mm-hmm.
With our own coffee now. Who
Yes.
would have thought? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
well, and then what other podcasts?
Oh, Boaz. Well, I'll slide in for another
on
minute
in.
here.
Boaz,
I was
yeah.
just getting, we got Leebo coming up here in a minute. I was
Good.
making sure he was ready to go. Boaz is going to be doing a heavy metal cooking show.
ooh.
Yes,
It's
Boaz.
called Headbangers Cookbook.
Headbangers Cookbook. Yes, that'll
Now,
be
let me
coming
tell
up.
you about.
Yeah.
I've known him since he was a kid.
Wow.
Long time. He's from Denmark. Lives in Denmark still. And he's an awesome guy. But did you know that a few years ago he was the personal chef to the Queen of Denmark?
Really?
Yes. I mean, when we say that he's a good cook,
Yes.
he's a good cook.
I heard that their food was really bland over there, so maybe he put a little spice in.
It
and-
might
and
be.
Brought them up to
Yeah.
modern day.
But anyway, he's doing a cooking show, and if you can't boil water, this might be a good place
Yeah,
for you.
that's coming up. I know his schedule's been pretty tight. Did you lose something over there, dude?
No, I'm just looking at here.
I know who we did find.
It
though.
says
We've
low
got
power.
Thomas
it's not
Jensen.
plugged in. All right, let me
Hello
fix that.
from
Go ahead.
Denmark.
You can
So
handle
I
the
love
comments
Denmark. I just
So,
have to say that. I
yeah.
love Denmark.
I know. We've got so many great friends in Denmark, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Really awesome. And the guy Thomas that's helped me write the last 2 books and is writing the new one also.
What's the title?
Is it's called Headbanger's Guide to the Bible. It'll be out at the end of the summer. I'm very excited. We'll talk about it
Yes.
in the weeks to come. But he's in Denmark. He's a seminary student, and And yeah, we've just got so many great friends.
Yeah, I didn't last very
intro.
long in Bible college because of you. You know, I think I lasted
Yeah.
one semester, and I got more out of the radically active discipleship courses that you would
Yes.
give out than
Right.
I actually got in Bible college. Not that I'm cutting Bible college down.
That's awesome.
Amazing amount of information I got from
I
you.
love that.
Thank you.
I
Kirk
love
Martin's
that.
in line there. What's up, Kirk Martin? Is so is
Hey,
Matt
Kirk.
Freely. Matt said that Boaz needs some demon dust. Have you like hot stuff, Pastor Bob?
Oh yeah, well, not so hot.
Oof.
I'm not sure if he does or not.
Yeah.
But
Well,
but he's
that's
such
even a little
expert.
hot for me.
Yeah,
I put like
me
a
too.
quarter teason in an entire batch of chili, and it was.
I
Yes.
just been
That stuff's-
I've been
if you
putting
like
in
the hot
olive
stuff,
oil. I've
yeah,
been putting in
it makes
olive
good
oil
thing.
lately, a little like marinade in the olive
Yeah.
oil.
Yeah.
And I take like an eighth of a teaspoon and I add it to my food because it helps to get rid of mosquitoes supposedly. You know.
Well,
So-
vitamin B does that.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So,
So,
we need
what
demons.
other broadcast podcasts? We have Chris and Don,
Chris and Don, yep.
which are awesome, and
Yeah,
you know,
so
and
what?
they've been
Yeah, and
involved with
stay tuned.
Sanctuary for almost 35 years as well.
And just a shout out to Don Waite. All of this would not have happened without his assistance.
He's been huge.
He's
help.
really, really on the backside of it. Is all of a sudden he sends me over. Hey, here's a commercial, which we're going to play at the end.
Yes.
we're going to play
Awesome
the coffee commercial, and he's really good. And
And he
up
has
on
his
that.
own
Stay tuned. Yep.
broadcast also.
Stay tuned, yep.
tuned.
His
Excellent.
the live show airs on Sunday afternoons, and then the replay all week long. But the
Very
initial
cool.
replay in the Matrix.
And then, of course, we have Scott Heron.
Scott Heron, yep, yeah, he did his
Coolest
first
guy.
The Powerhouse.
Yes.
Scott's Powerhouse.
And Scott's Powerhouse. And
Mhm.
that's a podcast
Correct.
that we air. And as soon as Scott gets a little better Wi-Fi,
He'll be going.
he'll be
live,
doing
yeah.
live again.
But it's okay too,
yeah, it's
sometimes
awesome.
if it's something's pre-recorded, you can go in there and still engage with the people
Yes,
while the
absolutely.
show airs. So that's what he's
What
doing.
other broadcast podcasts am I forgetting?
Let's see, we got Don Waits. So what?
Yeah.
It's been going for a while.
Right?
I don't think we're missing anything.
I think we've talked about
I
them.
think we have.
And
yeah.
we've got a lot of them coming up. There's some other shows that we're getting going, and
Yes.
we'll be adding them to the Matrix. So, folks, themetalmatrix.com, and there you can watch it 24 hours a day. Right now, you can jump in the chat room right there. But it's also, before too long, you're going to be able to watch this network in a lot of different places.
Yes, we have
And
a lot
we're
of
so
things in the
excited for
works.
that to happen, and this will be awesome.
Couple comments.
So
I'm gonna-
Kirk Martin out there is asking, is this the first official Pastor Bob and Friends? I know we tried last
We
week.
tried, yeah.
And it
I'll
didn't,
fix that.
You know,
We tried,
we
but-
still got a little bit of difficulties. But one of the most beautiful
Yeah.
things that you said back in California when we had the Sanctuary Church out there was that we really didn't need a building. It was just like we didn't need a membership. If you showed up, you were part of the Sanctuary crowd. And so right here, if you're on here, you're part of Pastor Bob and Friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we're connected, aren't we,
We
like
are.
this? That is so awesome.
I'll
you
get
could
him
just
back.
bring that and sit over here, and
Yeah, well, I just
I could see it from here.
it's coming back up here. I
So
don't know.
in just a minute, we're going to have Leebo join us. We're going to talk about the homeless ministry, Darren, and you've been involved with the homeless ministry as well over the years, and
Yeah.
you know it's been just a fantastic thing, and we want to talk about that in detail. Larry is working on a little bit of a glitch right now.
Yeah,
so
we got
can-
kicked out of the chat
so we
room.
can
Lee's
get in-
ready to go here.
So
You
let's-
guys-
say something about this homeless thing.
Yes.
You say houseless, and how important is that?
Yes.
You know, because homeless has kind of had like this negative vibe, right?
Yes.
And houseless, you never know. I mean, it could happen in the next week. You know, we've all been able to do little tiny things. You know, where many people do a little bit, a lot gets done. And
Well, you know, Darren, we have a phrase that we use, and it's "home is where the heart is. Welcome home."
Welcome home.
Because we want to be
We want to be
even
home, even if it's
under a big bridge, at picnic
pic-
tables. We want to be
Picnic
family once again, and
Well,
just like we've
and
tried
just
to
like we've
connect
tried to
with
connect with
the metal
metal
family and call it family, we've been doing that. You know, with the homeless as well. So, Leebo has been a friend for, gosh, let me think. Um, Leebo, you and I have been friends for probably, I'm thinking at least 20 years. Have we not?
Pretty close. Around 2002, 2003. So
There he
it's
is.
17,
I
18,
can't
almost
hear
20
him on
years.
this
Yeah.
one. He's frozen on mine.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, he's there. Yeah. It's okay. I mean, he's broadcasting good.
Okay.
But why he's frozen, I'm not sure.
So if you want to bring that around to here, I can see him and hear him, and we'll be good. So it's been I guess I didn't hear what you said.
It said,
There he is. I
it's
see you on
been
another
since
one.
2002, 2003. So
Yeah, so I
17,
guess
18
that's
years.
17, 18 years now. And you have done mostly music the whole time that I've known you. Nice and Flush was your old band. You've had several since then. He's a great musician and great music and still doing music. But we were very fortunate this last year to have Leebo join us on the sanctuary staff here working with the homeless folks. And it's been a little bit of a change for you, hasn't it? I mean, working with homeless as, you've been doing music.
Well, yeah. I think I've been the one who's been blessed, to be honest. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day. I'm very fortunate to be working with the homeless.
Yeah. That's as loud as it goes.
So
We're having a lot of
it's an awesome thing to be able to work with the homeless. And don't you feel like that you kind of fall in love with the people after a while? Has that happened to you?
Yeah, we have so many different personalities and so many so many folks with such interesting stories and
Now, interesting. That's a good word to use.
We're getting a lot of echo.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we have. Let's talk about what we do exactly. We, first of all, part of the ministry is collecting food, and that's a daily thing, isn't it? Every single day, we pick up from Trader Joe's. Many days we pick up from, Publix and a lot of different places, and then sporadically people will call us. So there's a truck running every day picking up food, isn't there?
Yeah. We probably do about at least 3 or 4 hours of driving a day.
Yes. Yes, and you've been doing the majority of it. Tom is the other guy that works with the ministry full time, and before the quarantine, his driver's license ran out. So all of a sudden he couldn't drive, and you pretty much had to do all the driving. So you've been doing a lot of food pickup, haven't you?
Yeah, but Tom's got his license now, and he's excited, and we're excited to
Yes, exactly.
hear that.
So
Yeah.
the homeless ministry has been a really great labor of love for almost 16 years now, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. Not only do we pick up food for us, but we pick up food for a lot of other ministries who are feeding homeless and feeding people getting off the streets and people that are coming out of addictions, alcohol, drugs, whatever. A lot of different kinds of ministries, and every single day those ministries come and pick up food from us. So not only do we feed the homeless, but we're kind of a storehouse for food for a lot of different people. And I think we estimated that between us and all the other ministries that we're serving about 11,000 meals a month. And that is a lot to think about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing. I feel a lot of gratitude. A lot of these ministries are very important, and just being able to help them out. A few of the ministries are geared towards helping people free themselves from addiction. A few of them are helping families. It's pretty good.
Yes. Well, it's been exciting, and it's been just a real joy to do this, and I know you feel the same way. So we've had some problems during the quarantine, and the tents have filled up under the bridge. People needed some place to go, and we've had some new rules, and not only do we have to do social distancing and all of that, but we've had to pre-pack all of the meals. We've had to serve in a very unique way. We haven't been able to set up our picnic tables and serve from the tables. We haven't been able to do any of that for the last couple months. And it's been a lot of extra work, but Leebo, that's almost ready to change, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're excited because as Bob knows, most of our ministry is not just about food; it's about the relationships
Yes,
and being able to facilitate an atmosphere that people can uh, forget about their worries for a minute, and they can sit down, they can talk, and they can be encouraged. And a big part of that is being able to set up those tables and create that environment. So I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of
absolutely.
people are down there.
And we start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Once again,
And
that's awesome.
then
I'm
I
looking forward to
spread the
that. I'll
word,
be there.
and
My mom is going with me. We're gonna begin again. This will be the first time in several months that we've been able to actually set up all the picnic tables and do all of that, and we're excited to get back into it. So during this time, um, there's been this whole community under the bridge that have, we went through the tornado. It was devastating. The buildings around the bridge were devastated. They've torn them all down. And people went through that, and then they went through the coronavirus. And there are people that just need healing, and they need camaraderie with other people, and they need uplifting. And of course, when people do that, sometimes they drink their problems away, or they do drugs to kind of forget. And so we've had a lot of problems with drugs and alcohol underneath the bridge. And there was a so-called ministry actually a few weeks ago that started coming to pass out clean syringes, and which I guess everybody has their own belief about that, but I hated to see that happening. And so we've got a lot of work to do, don't we? Not just in feeding, but in helping people to heal, because very honestly, we haven't really been able to do that since the tornado hit.
yeah, I think when you're talking about ministering and encouraging and just being there, it's not an overnight thing to help folks who are in these situations. A lot of them have given up. That's why they've turned to drugs. They're escaping, you know, and so you know, I'm I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of positiveness happen since I've been there. A lot of people being able to turn their lives around, but yeah, it's going to be a great thing to get started back up and just do it the right way. The way we're called to
Yeah.
do it.
Well, do we have any questions from the folks that are coming into the chat room,
You know
Darren?
what? Dan Norris is out there and he says if he could possibly be of any service being a CDL driver. And I think that would be really important.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So somebody's questioning, can they be of some service? Can they be of some help to us? How can they help? And what would you say to them, Leebo?
We have an open door policy, I guess you would call it. We're down there at 2 o'clock every day, so you're welcome to come and hang out with us and serve in that capacity.
Yes.
There's other ways to serve too. If you have donations or things that if you're busy and you can't really get down there, but you want to help and get things to folks, you can always get those things to us, or you can go to the Sanctuary Homeless Refuge site, and there's some things on there that will help you decide which way you want to serve and help the best.
.com.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sanctuaryhomelessrefuge.com.
So we've got a from Patrick Moore. He's asking, what can I do for the homeless from home?
How would you answer there?
As Bob said, we have vehicle maintenance, we have gas, we have plates, we have things where there's monetary expenses. So there's always donations help. You can also, um, if you want to just give us a shout, and if you want us to come there to meet up with donations, I'm sure we can make arrangements for that. Prayer is always a good thing, if
A big thing, isn't it? Yes.
yeah, I believe in the power of prayer, so don't ever underestimate that. And
Now, there's a lot of things that we can use. We're really short on tents. We're short on sleeping bags. We're short on just the very foundational things that people need to survive. And, Levo, during this time of the quarantine, I know people are struggling financially. I haven't done any fundraising. I haven't mentioned it during this whole time, but we're really running out of finances. So if people wanted to get involved with helping a bit for those projects,
yeah,
it'd be great, wouldn't it? People are really neat.
yeah, sometimes you have, like, I had a fellow yesterday actually. He asked me where he could get some lime and some things like mothballs and stuff, because he said snake season is about to happen, and where he camps out, where he tents, he needs something to put down because he doesn't want to
Yes.
deal with snakes. I mean, that seems off the radar, I would say, but it's important if you're living outside, so being able to help with things like that, even, it's a big blessing to folks, and it encourages them, and it shows them people care. And that's the doorway into the discussions, and that's the doorway to helping them heal.
Yeah.
And that's how we help people get their lives turned around, is the healing process.
Well, that's awesome. And folks, we're under the bridge every single day at 2 o'clock, every day at 2 p.m. Nashville time. And if you'd like to just drop by, help us set up. We get there 15 minutes early to set all the tables and serving and all the stuff up. And you can come a little early and get involved and then help us serve. And it would be great to have you join us. Darren, was there anybody else in the chat room?
My little chat's going a little slow, but
Okay.
Let me jump in here and just say how easy it really is. If you show up underneath the Jefferson Street Bridge,
Yes.
The tables are there. We need a little bit of help putting the tables out.
Yes.
It's really quick. I mean, it's just like being part of a concert where
We're a
everything's set up.
well-oiled machine.
Absolutely. There's nothing you really have to worry about except maybe grab one table or something like that with help with other people and be able to serve. The people aren't scary. It's really a fun, beautiful thing. You're going to walk away feeling full of joy.
Yes. Because it is a family.
It is.
Down there, and we love that part of it. And Leebo is really good at this. In fact, we call him Leebo the Pro.
Because he is a pro.
He's a pro. He's good at it.
And he's not like a really mean boss or anything like that. That's the beauty of actually hanging out with friends.
Yes.
And going out and doing something fun.
Absolutely.
And it is fun.
Well, any parting words, Leebo? Do you have anything else that we've forgotten to chat about?
Yeah. Obviously, when you're working with folks who are homeless, sometimes people can have a bit of fear. There's obviously some folks who deal with mental illness and drug addiction and things of that nature. But like Bob said, when we create an atmosphere that's about love and kindness, and when you come down and help us, you'll see there's nothing to be afraid of. There's opportunity to talk and to get to know these people's stories. And so yeah, I encourage everybody to if they feel called, do what you feel called to do. If it's coming down and helping sometimes, or if it's helping financially, or if it's helping through donations, that's awesome. It changes lives.
And what you just said, these are people with great stories who also need to tell them. and so just coming and listening, just being a friend, that's what this is all about, isn't it?
That's a huge.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
holding space with somebody. That's all they really want, really. For the
That's
most
right.
part, is like here, someone listen to me for a moment.
A
Absolutely.
lot of folks have been, they've had such devastating things happen to them in their life. They gave up because they really don't believe that anybody really cares.
Yeah.
So just listening, that's a big part of it.
Well, Leebo, we appreciate you. It's his day off today, and he's joining us anyway. And thank you, my friend. Thank you for all that you do. And please do join us under the bridge. If you have an opportunity to do that, you can meet Leebo in person. And I'm not there every day, but I'm there some days. And Darren is there some days.
I'm
And
there
Larry
some
is there
days.
some days.
Jim
and,
right here, he's trying to jump in and say hi, Leebo. Jim McCain Jr.
Oh, good. Jim McCain.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, Jim. How you doing, man?
Awesome.
I know Jim well.
Well, Leebo, thank you. I appreciate your input. Appreciate what you do. Thanks for joining us, and we'll have you on again in the future, and we can get some more updates with the homeless ministry.
Yeah, and just I want to say this, Leebo, you are beautiful. Thank you for showing up with as much pizzazz and ownership, and you really have it down to be able to be there for people and keep things organized. You've done so much hard work, and I love you, brother. Thank you.
Yes. Amen. Amen.
From Tom.
All right, thank you so much. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Awesome. Well, folks, this has been a lot of fun, and we still have about 13 minutes left.
Wow, that's a good number.
Time flies, doesn't it?
It does.
Time flies when you're having fun. I knew a guy that had to spend weekends in jail, and I picked him up, took him there and then picked him up when he was done. And he said, I coined a new phrase this weekend. Fun flies when you're doing time.
Fun
I always think of that. So we're not doing time, but we're having fun. So it's been really great, and I appreciate all of you that have been part of this as we're going on. The metal matrix is something I just wanted to talk just a little bit more about, because it is really the future of so many things that we're doing. Not only is it a great time for you to get to know other people, and by the way, Larry, we're about to get a whole bunch more people involved in doing their own shows. A lot of different subjects. They're not all teaching.
Yes.
When we've got a cooking show, when we've got a workout show, we have several others that you're going to be surprised at some things we're adding.
Yes. Yeah, and actually, I realized what's happening here with the comments.
What's that?
I am looking at the comments from the Sanctuary Matrix page.
Yes.
You are looking at the comments from Pastor Bob's page.
Yes.
Ah,
So we are cross posting right now.
yes.
So there's a couple of comments that you haven't seen, Darren, and Jennifer Bryant asked about Doug Van Pelt.
Oh,
About what?
About Doug Van Pelt's show.
Oh, yes.
Which,
yes, we can't forget that.
Yeah, no, we can't because, of course we are metalheads here and we need, music.
Absolutely.
Bob 2.0 is doing the older classic, I guess you
Yes.
want to call it classic Christian rock. And I know Doug kind of stays up with some things and with some of the newer stuff on his show, the
Absolutely.
newer music. And
But Doug is a wealth of information. Doug, as you know, owned Heaven's Metal magazine or HM magazine. I used to have
did an
a
article
column in there.
in the back page,
The
yes.
back page every
remember.
month was my Pastor Bob column. So, by the way, Steve Casto used to help me write.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
he
that
did.
long ago.
Awesome.
But nobody knows more about Christian metal than Doug Van Pelt does, and he's got a great show that's just called Heaven's Metal.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming up. I believe that goes in the schedule next week.
Okay,
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to
And
that.
we're working on something with the very current new Christian metal that's out there.
Yes,
And we had someone in mind, and he's kind of the schedule just doesn't line up right now. But
but we're still working
We're
on
working
it,
on
and
it,
he'll
yeah.
be part of this show.
yes, absolutely,
Whoever that is,
Yes.
and I'm still going to go after the guy that we'd like to.
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Maybe he'll
Exactly.
see this and think, I need to be part of that. That would be
Yeah.
good. And yes, you do, Paul. I'm calling you out. Paul from Norway, Paul from Nordic Mission.
Nordic
I
Mission.
want to have you on here to talk about what's going on. If you know Paul from Nordic Mission, would you write to him and say, you need to be part of this show?
Yes, because
Yeah.
he's got the ends on the new stuff.
Yeah.
He's also in charge of Sanctuary for Norway, so he
Mhm.
needs to be.
Yeah.
He needs to be on it. But folks, the cool thing is that in the weeks and months and years to come, we've got some great guests coming up. We have a lot of band members from a lot of bands that you will recognize. We've got a lot of people from this movement that I want to have talk. And I want to have some of you on here.
Yes.
Some people who have been following Sanctuary for a while, and just to get to know you. You know, this is a family show. And for those of you that have been part of this metal family for a long time, we'd love to have you on here and just give us your experience about just being a metalhead in this community. Because it is a great family, isn't it, Darren?
It's a beautiful family. And you know, like Pamela, she's out there saying right
Pamela
now.
Barbeau.
Yeah, thanks, Pastor Bob, for all this. It has been a great show. And, you know,
Awesome.
with all our technical difficulties that we've been going through, it will, and it is a great show, but we've got some amazing guests coming up.
Yes.
And I'm really excited to see what you guys are doing out there in your lives, in your world, how you take these shows out into the
Absolutely.
public.
Yes. And so, once again, themetalmatrix.com. You see it behind me here. You'll see it on your screen. You'll see it in everything we're doing. We are metal, we are family.com is our store, and the Metal Matrix is our network. And those two URLs are two that you need to know. But 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there is something for you to watch. Our shows have their broadcast, and then they have their rebroadcast, and then they have their rebroadcast, and our goal is to have every show in every time zone. So for instance, if you're in Australia, you know, that's a tough place to be because almost everything we do live is in another time zone. So you can see it, you know, in something that fits you. You know, speaking of that, we have one more show.
Hey, wait a minute. We got a
Okay.
really good one here. Does it really matter if I'm not a metalhead? That is a great
Yeah,
question.
it does, and we need to pray for you. Can we just bow our heads right now? I'm just kidding. No, it doesn't matter, because, you know, we will make you an honorary metalhead
Yes.
if you want to watch the show.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, Larry, that we didn't talk about, and I want to just briefly talk about it, is our family chats. We still do that. There's one at 5 a.m. and one at 8 p.m. every day, Central Time. And we've got a variety of people that are involved in doing that, people from all over the world. We mentioned Australia. Phil from Australia is doing one of them. We've got Steve from Sanctuary Wales in the UK. We've got Pastor Dave, Sanctuary San Diego. He's been with us forever. He's even
Yeah.
older than me, and he's still looking good, Pastor Dave. And but we've got a lot of people that are doing that particular show, and more coming in all the time.
Yeah, Mary and I are going to do every other Friday.
Okay.
We just, I'm
Larry
so
and
busy
Mary
with this.
every other
Larry and
Friday.
Mary every other
That's
Friday.
cool.
Ah,
You guys do a good
we
job
can
on
hear-
there.
Yeah, we
You
have a
guys are
good
cool.
time.
You're
She's my better half. Let me tell you that
Yeah.
woman.
She's pretty cool.
She makes me look good.
I really
Yeah.
love Mary.
Oh, kidding me? So do I.
She is awesome. Yes, she is. Well, folks, I'm so happy that we can do this, and things went a little smoother today than they did last time. We had so many difficulties last time. The one we got done, we kind of decided not to put it up. So we just kind of decided to learn from it and move on. And today has been great. We've had a little bit of difficulty, a few little glitches.
Just a little echo, but that's
so great.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
So great, and we're learning as we're going. And let me just tell you, this can only get better. and
It
it's
can only
going
get
to.
better. But for what
And-
right now is,
Yeah.
I just have to say we're at least on right now, and we're reaching out to you, and we're letting you know that we love you, and we're very glad that you're here and
Yes,
being
we
a
are.
part of our friends and family.
Yes, So, Darren, anybody else in the chat room that we should greet, or questions we can add, or whatever?
I really wish that in my end, we'll figure this
Yeah.
out. We'll get them on there, and I'll try to respond to everybody like as we go on, even in the after they're on the recordings and stuff like this.
Yeah,
Great.
there's
But-
nothing new in the sanctuary page there. I haven't loaded one for a little bit, but Andrew Latham did say he's I'm a metalhead that turned into a blues man.
Ooh,
He
Andrew
is,
Latham.
but
And
he's
happy
still
birthday
okay.
to your mom, yeah.
And I've
Today's
known
his
Andrew
mom's.
for 30 years.
It's his mom's 70th birthday
happy
today.
70th
Oh, really?
birthday.
Yeah, to Andrew's mom,
yes.
So
That's
yeah, I
awesome.
don't know what happened. The comments stopped loading in here, but you know what? If you really think about what we're doing here,
Mhm.
we have a few iPhones and an iPad, and we're going to the entire planet right now.
We
And
are.
we've got
You don't
ring lights
Yes,
and our computers in front of us,
you all look
and,
sexy.
and besides that, our irresistible good looks,
Yeah. Good, great looks, great
which
looks.
is the whole, most of it. But
You know,
this works pretty well.
can I just say here, like Pamela, she's out here. She says I have really bad stage fright, and I want to just speak to that for just a second.
Yes, do.
You know what? You just keep showing up, and you know how they say fake it till you make it. I'm like actually a shy person. People wouldn't believe that, but I go out and I say hi, I give hugs, I shake hands,
Yes.
and after a while, people go, "Man, you're like this outgoing guy," And it's just like I'm so used to doing it now. So
Yes.
yeah, just it's a lot of fun when you're hanging out and you realize. We used to do in the filmmaking world, we would say, like, if it wasn't fun, we wouldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
So keep on thinking about that mentality of, like,
Great
how
advice.
awesome it is you're reaching everybody out in the world. We're right here, we're doing it. So
Yes. It is awesome.
It is.
Well, folks, we're going to continue to do this every single week in this time zone. And if you have suggestions, questions, things you'd like to see on the show, you can write to me at questions@pastorbobscoffeebreak.com. I know that's another podcast, but that's where you can come directly to me. Questions@pastorbobscoffeebreak.com, and I'll get those questions directly, or your comments, or your suggestions, and we'll try to make that happen. Well, we're coming to a close. It went way too fast. 90 minutes just kind of flew by. It's we're having fun.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
We'll be here again next week. Some people are asking about how do they find the schedule for the week. It's a little confusing.
If you go to themetalmatrix.com and you go to that page, there's a place you just click on and the schedule will come up and you'll see it. So it's an easy thing to find. Everything that you need to know about the Metal Matrix is right there on the Metal Matrix page, themetalmatrix.com. And again, check out our merch page. The profits for the merchandise go to the homeless ministry, and so we don't mind a shameless plug here to try the merch page, and that's We Are Metal, We Are Family.com. Well, folks, bless you, bless you, bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me today. And as I always say, don't forget, you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.